already, hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. Alright, Sunday, you might hear some stuff in the background, but that's totally okay. Alright, so somebody asked me, let's see, in the last video we were working on this thing. You're probably wondering why I'm at the shore again and not drilling. Because when I modified the drill, I put this on here and then it wouldn't actually go all the way down. So I have to do the sail one more time. Maybe 2 more times. So that's why I stopped putting out videos and I just sort of paused for a little bit. Alright, so what we're going to focus on today is someone asked me a long time ago to show them how I built the moon base. So what we're going to do is we're going to visit the concept. We're going to see how I got there and okay. So I'm going to assume 2 things. You have a way to get to the moon and you have the moon. Alright, so once you have those 2 things, you're able to get to the moon and you have the moon. Like, you're pretty close. So the big thing with Stormworks is weight. Does this one have the reactor or is this just a shuttle? This is just a shuttle. So the big thing with Stormworks is weight. Okay? So what I did I built this rocket. And I sent it to the moon and I measured the fuel and all that kind of stuff. It's still not perfect. Then I decided, okay, you know what? Instead of a rocket, I'm going to turn it into a plane because I assumed that there would be a flat spot on the moon and I could just land on the moon and it would be flat and everything else. Oh, this one does have but then I had to put magnets on it and I haven't flown this thing in a long time. So the big thing about Stormworks is scale. We need to find a workable scale. Once we know what that workable scale is, then we're able to measure our weight, right? First, we determine the size, our length, our width, and our height, what our maximum is. I'm gonna rip out this side because this is the satellite and it doesn't really work. So, anyways, once we've figured all that out. Hold on in here, let's see. I thought there was, yeah, I'll change my space. Okay, so once we have all that figured out, then we are able to design a vehicle which has a cargo bay, right? So this is our maximum capacity inside this cargo bay. So, I know, I'm kind of all over the place. I don't really know where to start with this, but first thing you need to do is get to the moon. Then you need to think, now that I'm on the moon, what do I want to do? I want to build a base. So how are you going to get that base to the moon? I decided I was going to build a modular system. So I was going to build individual units. I was going to place them in here. And you see these things here, the tracks. There's got to be a way to, I think one of these is loaded. Anyway. So I'm kind of trying to explain the concept here. You need a lot of things to go to the moon, and it took me a long time to get there. So, let's see, where's my platform? Let's just go through it. This is going to make a little bit more sense. And then we're going to go through the building. So hopefully in this video, we will get to do some building as well. But what I need is... where is this thing? Yeah, see, this is it here. There, I need this. Alright. This thing here. Alright, so this is a shunter for the shuttle. I don't know. I don't even know how it works anymore. Oh yeah, there we go. So just like that, and I think it's got an e-brake on it, right? 3 e-brake. All right. So we need three things, right? We need a way to get to the moon. We need a vehicle to do that. We also need a way to survive when we're on the moon. So what I have conceptualized is that I built a shuttle to get to the moon, which would carry supplies so I could survive on the moon. And of course, as you can see, there is additional equipment that you need to handle the shuttle, to do the loading, all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're kind of going over here right now. Because I'm trying, I guess, to explain how I decided the size of the moon base. How did I determine the size of each module? Well, I built this shuttle and I took it to the moon. And then I tried to see what's the maximum amount of weight I could add to the shuttle to take to the moon, right? And I tried a vehicle and I tried all these other things. And then when you're on the moon, you have to figure out, okay, so now that we're on the moon, how do we, how do I load and unload the object? So let's see if I can get one of the modules here for the moon base, and we'll put it inside the shuttle. Yeah, see, so these are all the individual modules. I needed one for air, I needed one for power, and that's what I have the modular reactor for. It's so cool. So basically, I just took one and I measured it to make sure it would fit inside my cargo bay. So if you have a bigger spaceship, right, just make sure it fits inside your cargo bay. And then, I must have had to add to the modules. Because I thought I'd taken this to the moon. Oh yes, so it sits on that. Right, but I added feet to it. Hold on a second here. One of these I took to the moon, and one of them I didn't take to the moon. See, then I have the moon truck. So we needed all these things, right? So let's show the toys, and then yeah, module 5. Look, it's got the feet on it. What's going on here? Yeah, this one can go to the moon. Yeah, so you see how it has these feet here? So there's still some extra stuff that I should have done, but basically it clips into the middle like that. Here, we'll paste it, and then let's just spawn it so you can see how it looks. So we have our shuttle. And then in the cargo bay, now there should be, I should be able to open the doors here. So that was the other thing. I had to make sure that I could open the doors, that nothing was going to get damaged, because when you make it to the moon, you have to make sure that you don't damage anything when you're loading and unloading your equipment. So now that that's done, then I think we could just release the connectors here. Yeah, release craft. And then what we do is we just push it off the side. Because it slides like that. And away we go, we're on the moon. Just like that. So then once we're on the moon, then we need equipment which is going to be able to move these objects around. So that is when I built this. It's just a battery-powered truck, but it fits inside the shuttle. Right, because we have the nuclear reactor, I can connect the reactor to this, and that gives me a way to recharge it, right? So we get all this kind of battery life out of it. It's just electric. So I spend a long time, probably too much time, conceptualizing going to the moon. Okay, now let's look at the moon. So, the moon is not flat. Let's go somewhere that we think is flat. I think I set it up here. I thought, hey, let's go here. It's flat, right? The moon is flat, right? Oh, it's still teleporting me to the moon. Okay, so even though, let's see if we can get the sun here. There we go. So you see, even though it looks flat, it isn't totally flat. That's one part of this. The second part is it's almost impossible to land here every single time unless we're able to accurately project the XYZ of the craft from when it takes off to when it lands on the moon. I'm not quite there yet, but I'm almost there. Then we'll be able to launch modules to the moon and we'll be able to land them wherever we want. So that's kind of the next part of that, right? So now we're on the moon. So once we're on the moon, we have our base. I wonder if I could spawn it in as, let's see. Let's go to add-on editor. And let's test out the moon. And let's go moon 00. And let's test the location. Is that where I'm at? Somewhere in there. No, that's not where I'm at, is it? Right, and physics are totally different on the moon. They're totally different. What I want to do is I want to... Okay, let's... so that's the location. Let's edit objects. And now that we're here, we need to add... a vehicle. We could add the tug. Let's add a couple of things. Just so you can get an idea for the physics on the moon. So once you're on the moon, everything is different. And you think, yeah, I have my module. It's been launched on the moon. That's cool. Hold on, where are we here? Holy moly, I got way too much stuff. Okay, so we'll take this one here. Can I... Let's add another vehicle, and then we'll take this one here. Now, does this plug into... One of them is like a central unit. It's been so long. So let's set this up here. We'll take the airlock and we'll put it there. Oh, it doesn't have the door? What happened there? Oh, probably because I'm just looking at it in the editor, right? Yeah, okay. And then the other thing that we'll grab is We'll grab one more. The airlock, we'll grab module 2. Because that clips into module 2. What's module 2? Oh, it goes into there. Okay, no, this is perfect. This is perfect. And we're going to take one more vehicle here. We'll take this to the moon as well. And then we'll take the nuclear reactor just so I can show you how that works. The mobile core. Alright, so now we're going to save. And we'll save it as test. And then what we want to do is exit the editor. Is that right? No. Add-on overview, test location. Oh, and then what we have to do in the editor is we need to make the items searchable. So in the location editor, is it location editor? Click on it, and we just need to say show on map true. There we go. And we can save that. Now we can see it on the player map. And then we can go back to here, and we can say test the location. And then we could should show up. There it is, right there. So we'll teleport there. There it is. It's all burning and on fire. Okay. Alright. Let's go back into the editor. Let's click on that. There we go. Okay, so we have all our elements. The first thing, obviously, we want to do is turn on the reactor. Yeah, it's the core temperature, minus 200 degrees. Now it's heating up. Okay, so that's going to give us power. So we have our modules. We have module 1 and we have module 2. This is our airlock module. I forgot to bring the stairs. So what we want to do is put the legs out. So you see how the surface of the moon isn't flat? You notice that? So this is kind of what I wanted to get at. This is why I decided to put them on legs. This one, because it's easier to get the doors to connect to each other when they're on the legs than it is to try and drag them when they're on the ground. So the other thing is, okay, we need this door over here needs to connect to that door over here. So how do we do that when we're on the moon? Well, what we have is, this is why I have these here. So now what I can do is I can move the winch. So this just helps me push the modules around. Right? They move a lot easier on the feet than they... Oh, what was that? Interesting. Well, something's wrong here. Whew. I wonder if I have I should have brought the medical bay. Oh, no. Oh, well, hopefully it doesn't last forever. Okay, so as you can see, it pulled the module over. I've got radiation poisoning. All right. So I could continue to try and manipulate these with that, or I could just use this. Oh, you see how fast we jump on the moon? It's crazy. So then I can just come around. You know, here, I'll do this. Custom menu, clean radiation. All right, so we have to be careful. These things are fast. I hope I have another med kit somewhere. This is crazy. It's only 13,000 degrees. That's no big deal. Okay, so then what we can do is we can take this and we can connect that to there. I thought I cleaned up the radiation. There we go. All right, so to further push this module around. Okay, you see, it's like we're on ice on the moon. A lot of it, right? There's a lot of it is you're on ice. All right, so take this now. All right. So from here, now we can easily line up the winches. That one to that one, and this one to this one here. And then we can bring the winches in. So all this kind of stuff had to be thought up and testing, right? How do I get, once the modules are on the moon, what's the best way to pull them together so they align? All that stuff, right? Similar to if we were to build something in the ocean, while we're bobbing around, we need a way to keep things connected together. So, I mean, ropes is the best thing. And then with the magnetic doors, and they're on the legs, they can slide easily when they're on the legs because they don't have friction pads on them. And then it should just snap together here. If it doesn't, you can just give it a push. There we go. Now, from inside, I think that's right. They should be connected. There's supposed to be stairs. I thought this was the airlock module, but maybe the stairs are supposed to be on this side, actually. Huh, I wonder. So then what module is this one here? Oh, did I build something? Oh, no, I may have. Uh-oh, so now what do we do? Was there a disconnect on here for these things? Alright, so I think I might have made a mistake. With, is that the legs? Oh, I did not make a mistake. Okay, so it just needs to be pulled around. So this corner here needs to be pulled. And we need some more music. Alright, so I guess, again, what I'm doing is I'm just sort of showing the concept here. You know, so you can see the moon isn't flat, right? We need a way to survive, as it were. So I created all these individual modules. Now, why did I create the individual modules? Well, at the time, there was an issue with the CO2. So I needed the air scrubbers, and I needed all that kind of stuff. Those issues have since been resolved. So yeah, it probably is time that I rebuilt it a little bit. See, it's got the air system in there. I just can't remember which door connects to which, because it's been so long since I've set this thing up. And I should have grabbed the med bay. Well, that would have made things a lot easier too. Oh, this is where the stairs goes. This is where the stairs goes. No wonder it's not working. Yeah, this is where the stairs go. So the stairs go in there. So this needs to connect to there. Oh, okay, that makes more sense. Oh, okay, here. That's now that I know what's going on. Now, I must have a working mobile core. That must be the broken one. I'll have to take a look at it, see what I did wrong. Other than radiate the moon, you know. Okay, so that side was for the stairs. Yeah, okay, so it's like this. It's like this. So you see how it skips along like that? So if this module wasn't on its legs, and it bounced off the surface of the moon, it's going to do damage to the whole module, and then we're going to lose the module. The rope anchor, was there no? Oh, just rope anchors on this one. Okay, and then push this way a little bit. Yeah, because we have to deliver them to the moon in individual modules, we need a way to get the individual modules to connect together. That's where the magnet doors come into play. The magnet doors are good because they lock. It's like an airlock, effectively. Yeah, there we go. All right, now to check that they're together. Oh, did they not? What's going on? What is going on? What is going on? Did it not lock into place? There we go. There, you see the feeder up? Now it's locked into place. Okay, perfect. So, if I had bothered to get the stairs, what we can do is we can press that button there, and when it's connected to the airlock, what it does is it takes the air in here, puts it into tanks, and when all the air is taken out of the room, then this door will open up automatically. And then it does the same thing when we open up this door, it reverses the air. So then when we come inside, there we go. We now have two parts to our module, and then we have this door over here, and so on and so forth. That was basically it. I needed stairs here. Obviously they're not quite complete, but yeah, there we go. It's forcing all the air out that was inside there. So that's basically that. So you need a whole bunch of equipment. You need a whole bunch of equipment. To make this work. So we're going to get into that. Now we're going to get into that. So to get to the moon, you need to have a rocket. But that rocket is going to have a weight capacity. So then you need to figure out what your weight, your cargo capacity is, and what that looks like. Ideally, it should be a box, right? That's what you want, to fit in the box. And then inside that box, that's where you want to put your vehicle, accessory, whatever. Then you want to fly to the moon, which I did several times, testing it out. Do you have enough fuel to get there, to land and return? What happens if you overshoot? Do you need extra fuel? Blah, blah, blah. Once you have all that taken care of, then you're ready to come to the moon and to survive. That's where something like this, a modular base, comes in handy. So as you can see, it's sunny during the day and it's dark at night. So there is a power module that I made with solar panels on it, which will provide power to this. See, like we're barely losing power right now, but when I created the mobile reactor, I thought, you know, why not, right? It's not working at all. Oh, I think it's completely broken now. I wonder if I can fix it. So we're testing the location, so we can return to the add-on editor. What I want to do is I want to just do one more thing here. I want to show you the stairs. So this is the module. Let's see. This is the airlock module. So what we need is add a vehicle. Actual stairs. Now it's a pain in the butt to try and get all this stuff to the moon. I promise you. But once you get it all to the moon, it's actually pretty cool. So we've got that. We've got those 3 modules. So I just want to show you the stairs there. And then I want to test the reactor one more time. Okay. So let's go back to here. And then let's test the location. So now you're going to see the stairs. So when the legs on this are up, right there. Same thing, take a rope. Where's the connected to there? So those just connect onto here. Real simple. Now they've done a lot of work to the physics on the moon, and it handles a lot better. So I can change a lot of this around. Like, you see how smooth it is? It's really fast. It's not slow and groggy. There we go. Well, oh. That's probably why. See, it's not easy kind of getting it sorted. There we go. Just like that, see? So that's where that came from. So you're going to need stairs, you're going to need all that stuff. And that's the cool thing about it, is it's all modular. It just takes a while to get it all here. Now, as far as this reactor goes, and then of course, once you're on the moon, we'll explain. I think I didn't set this up here. Probably needs to be set to like 200. Should go to 200 and then fluctuate there. Ooh. No. This one is going to melt down. Well, there it goes. Okay, so I need to have the water valve turned on, I guess. There you have it. It's cooling down because I have it set to 200. We could try 300. And maybe it won't cool down so much. Or we could even try 500. See, it'll heat up and slow down based on that. Yeah, there we go. We could say 450. Alright, so from there, now we're able to provide unlimited electricity. Into the module. And we can just do that quite easily. Oh no, what's happening? Oh, do I not have another spacesuit? Where is it? Where's player damage? Oh no! Asteroid strike on the moon. Okay, so where were we here? Where were we here? Now, I don't know if there's an actual outlet on this for... Yeah, right there. Oh, there we go. So now we have a base on the moon, and we have unlimited power on the moon. And we have our moon base. So that's basically the concept as a whole. So I went to the moon. I said, okay, I need a few things. I scaled them, I created them, and that's that. So now what we're going to do is going to go back to the add-on editor. We are going to exit the add-on editor. And we are going to go back to the map. And we're going to teleport back to Earth. So, now let's dive into the how. We can start with that. So we've assumed all these things. You have a rocket and you're ready to go to space. You know roughly the size and weight of the rocket. Oh, really? Yeah, you know roughly the size and the weight of the rocket. And all these things. So now that we have our rocket and we know what our cargo bay is and we know what our capacity is, we're then able to start to build the space shuttle or the moon modules themselves. So what I did is I just started with my cargo bay and I just quite simply what's the maximum size I can reasonably fit in here. Oh, you know, this one's different. Hey, this one is different. Look, it still has... Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah. There's two versions. Oh, cool. This is the old one, right? Where it's got... Yeah, look, this is the old one. Before I opened that up, and then it still had the airlock here. Okay, so this one might not work. Which... Space Shuttle Solo. No, we wanted the shuttle with the reactor. It doesn't have a reactor in it, but it did. And I did all my modifying based on that. Where is it now? There it is. Alright. So essentially what I did is I figured out what would be my maximum capacity. In this case, it's about 24 blocks. And then we have to remember that when I'm on the moon, this door opens up. So you could have two doors that open up, right? But why did I make it so that way the door opens the way it does. Okay, hear me out. When we land on the moon, are my controls still inverted? My controls are inverted because I took damage there. This game, I tell you, it's just a pain in the buttocks sometimes. Okay, so trying to get to the cargo bay. Oh, did they reset? They reset there. Perfect. Just trying to get to the cargo bay. I suppose I could get a do spacesuit too. Anyways, so we get all the way down to the cargo bay. Never mind everything in the shuttle, all the cool stuff. I'll have to go through that later. So we get to the shuttle bay. So when we open the doors, they open like that. Let's see if I can get inside the. I should have sat down. Let's get this. Okay, this will be the last roll through, and then that'll be it for this video. Okay. So as you can see, when I'm on the moon, I wanted the whole door to open up to one side. So that way I could launch modules, as I showed in the beginning of this video, off the other side. I figured that was the best way to get the modules onto the surface of the moon. I tried with a crane, I tried with all sorts of things, and I'm like, you know what, we'll just slide them off. If they take damage, I can always repair them. And that seemed to be the easiest thing, and they didn't actually take that much damage. So I started with that. Okay, that was that concept. So what I needed to make that work is I needed these tracks in here. These tracks just allow anything to slide off, right? So then we have our length, okay, at whatever, 24. Then I took a width, whatever that is, 16. All right. So let's get into it. New vehicle, 16 by 24. All right. So 24 by 16. If we save this, as here, and then I load the shuttle, and then we clear that and we load the plate. There we go. As you can see, it fits inside the cargo bay. So the other thing we need to do is we need to determine our maximum height. Why is that? Well, because the door opens up. So that means we need to have clearance for this side of the door. Otherwise, the door is going to catch on the object and you will explode. You will explode. I guarantee it. So our maximum height was, what did I say? It was a magnet door. So new vehicle, okay, we're going to load plate. So if we say door, docking door, what is that? So that is our maximum height. I think I went one more in the middle. I think I was able to squeeze out one more. So that becomes our maximum height. So then just did something like this. And that becomes our maximum width. think that's what it is. They might even be smaller than this, actually. All right, so then other than after this, really, it's just now it's just up to you. Whatever you want to imagine to be inside the box. What is going to be inside the box, right? So I figured for me, like I wanted the stairs. So the next thing I guess we need to figure out is really the feet. So I just take some pistons. There you go. There you go. So let's spawn this thing in, take a look at it. That's it. So that's how it's going to look. So when we build our other modules, we're going to build our other modules based off of this one module here, right? Maybe we want some windows in it. You know, I'm not sure. Maybe this here is going to be like the, could be the airlock when you first come into the unit. And then there's another door, right? We could have another, this kind of door inside, a docking door that opens up. It could open up like that, I suppose. It could open up into the, into here. Right, and so that's where we put our airlock. And then of course on one side, we need air going out and air going in. So we'd have our hoses here, right? Our connection for our airlock. And red can be air out, and green can be air in. Like really simple stuff, right? Really simple stuff. And then from here, we just need a pump. Right, we need our pumps. Air in. Air out. Really simple. Put a gas filter on there. And then just cap it. 1, 2, 3, 4. One draws in air, one draws out air. So then we need another module that's this size, which is going to have tanks in it. It's going to be full of tanks. So if we take this plate, no, we don't want that. What we want to do is we can clear content. And we can go H. And we can select that and select this. The whole shebang, and we can just copy it and we can just paste it. All right, so then inside here we can have our tanks. This can be maybe the airlock module. Okay, so now for me, I made my airlock module where the tanks are light. I just hollowed it out basically, you know. I don't even think I kept the doors that were on it. I think I just did that because we don't really need, it doesn't have a lot of weight to it. So the tanks is what is going to be the weight, right? And then we need just for the air, 1, you know, 2, and then red, 3, 4. All right, so that is kind of the basic concept. Now, what I also wanted to show before we end this video is the door itself. Now, the door has many buttons. The magnet toggle, the open and close button, so you can press a button and you can open and close the door. It has, is the door on or off? Lots of things. Plus, you can also send composite through the doors. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use the doors to help bridge composite into each module. And that way, we're going to be able to chain all the modules together and have these composite signals. So you could have one module that controls all the rest of the modules, right? Turns on the lights, turns on the computers, turns on all that stuff, manages the power, blah, blah, blah. So we will be getting into that. So I know it was a little thick, but that's the way it is. This is our moon module build. This is going to be basically the start of it. So then, one final thing. Once we have our module, and we know its size, we know the size that we want for it. Then what we also need to do is we need to, let's see, I'll just copy this. We'll load yeah, once you know what you want and where you're going, we then also need to make sure that we fit it into the shuttle before we get too far. We need to make sure that it fits into the shuttle. So it's important to always take the module and try and dry fit it in there. If it fits, good. If it doesn't fit, then you have to find out, well, why. Why is it not fitting? So in this case, it needs to go down like that. So that's how it's going to sit basically inside the shuttle. So if I just pasted that and spawned it in, now it might do some damage because it's going to want to lift. There, so you see how close the clearance is on the door? It was just barely able to open. But that's it. That's the module, right? It's all rocket and a little bit of module. So that's what I had to work with. So this is kind of a better angle. Hopefully you can see that. And then you can just fit inside there whatever you want, right? And then what we do is we make sure we have the track connectors on it so we can launch it when we land on the moon. And that's basically it. So in the next video, we'll get into fully building. We'll get right into building right away. We'll get the composite in there, lights, all that kind of stuff. Airlock, we'll do more airlock testing, and we'll get right into it. So I hope you enjoyed this video. More just a general concept. These are what you need. You need to have a rocket or a shuttle that can carry your payload to the moon, and then you need to determine what that payload is going to look like. In this case, it's a box, because that was the only thing that I could fit inside the shuttle, right? And I wanted to have a shuttle because I had a different idea about the moon. Then when you're on the moon, you have to play around and determine, okay, can I drag these things? I can't drag them. I have to pick them up, blah, 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 blah. So there's still a lot of testing. Several more videos. But thank you so much for watching, liking, and subscribing. Videos are going to keep coming out, and I will see you hopefully all in the next one.